And we are live here from Joliet, Illinois. It's host of the Chicagoland Speedway, where tonight the stars of the Slide Job Racing League will do battle in race number 2 of the round of 10. We mentioned 10 drivers coming in tonight still with a chance and a dream to win a championship. We are getting closer to that cutoff. We're getting close to the point where we'll knock it down from 10 to 4. You want to make sure tonight's the night you don't have a mistake, because our next 2 weeks after this, it's going to be hard to dig back out of that hole. Dawson Allen in the booth, as always, joined by the one, the only, the JC of JCTV, Josh Coppernall. Josh, coming into Chicagoland tonight, race number 2. What are the drivers going to have to expect out of this race tonight if they want a chance at advancing that championship for?
You know, honestly, I think this is the calmest of the races that we have in this chase playoff format, if you will. It's kind of more of a normal-ish type of race that they would normally visit. So I still think you've got to be on your game. I mean, we've mentioned last week, I'll continue to mention it as we continue on. This is not a win and you advance type format. So, you still have to be on your game and go out there and perform. But I think this is going to be maybe the easiest test of all of them.
That makes sense. I can give you that. Definitely the easiest test. It is a 1.5 mile track comparative to what we had last week at Darlington and what we'll have coming up in Bristol and Talladega. So definitely easier in terms of what they're going to have to manage. We saw Brett Bennett just now complete his qualifying time. He is currently 4th fastest on the racetrack. Fastest time belongs to the 7 of Donald Stern. We'll pan back to the next car on track rolling as Michael Kruger has just gone fastest time now with a 30.818. We cut back to last week's winner and the most recent winner at this racetrack, Dylan Parker. So he got the wall on his warm-up lap, so he will tow it and go for a reset. We got a couple other cars on track. Christian Pacheco, Jeffrey Armistead are on track right now. Duncan Fall, Oscar Enriquez, I think, just completed his lap. Stephen Maggio and Owen Chabinski also out on the racetrack, starting their laps. Michael Wall's 2nd fastest just now. Christian Pacheco jumps to 10th fastest. Duncan Fall is 13th fastest. Looks like Dane Cruz also out on the racetrack right now. What's it feel like, though, to have, a situation like Dylan Parker? It's not a win you're in format, but to have a win to open up this playoff run to try and go for a championship.
I think it definitely boosts the momentum. For Dylan Parker, he still can't go out there and finish last the next 3 weeks, but I definitely think it helps. And, I think tracks like this, and especially next week, kind of go into the style that he's really good at. I think he'll be all right going into the Final Four.
Yeah, defending series champion should be pretty fine going to the Final Four. Right now, he is currently sitting 8th fastest on the speed charts. Look to see if he can improve that and try to get to that pole position. Currently a tie between Michael Kruger and Michael Walls for that top spot. He'll go 6th fastest that time by, so not able to improve enough to get into the top half of the field. Top 5 of the field, I should say, but you know what I mean. So he'll tow it. We've got about 15 seconds left. Everybody's pretty much put a lap time down. It's going to put a lap time down. 23 drivers have done so. We've got about 2, 3, maybe 7 drivers that are not going to set a lap time here in qualifying. So the checkered flag is going to fly, and we are going to have a field set and ready to go racing. So let's take a look at your starting lineup here for tonight's running of the Tropicana Orange Juice 200, the Slide Job Racing League race 2 of 4 of the round of 10. Starting on the pole in a tie with almost identical lap times. Actually showed as a tie. It's actually 1/1000th of a second difference between Michael Kruger and Michael Walls for that top 2 spots. Starting on the starting grid there. Donald Stern going to start third with Ethan Fonseca Moreno to his outside in 4th. 5th place goes to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer with last week's winner and our defending series champion Dylan Parker starting in 6th place. Justin Rott and Rivers Jones occupy row number 4, and running at your top 10, it's Gabe Cazzola and Brett Bennett.
Steve Maggio has the 11th starting position with Jeffrey Armistead in 12th. 13th, Christian Pacheco. And how about Jonathan Parker back here at 14th? Not like him to be back this far. But 15th, it's Oscar Enriquez. Edwin Mendez starting 16th. 17th, Dan Cruz. Duncan Paul in 18th. 19th, Jamie Wright, and Tyler Waterbolen starts 20th.
Starting in the 21st spot is Nayla Thacker with Owen Chabinsky to their outside. In row 12, it's Ryan Bogey and Bridger Olson. Row 13 sees Blaine Sparling and Matthew Stotts. Row 14, it's Jacob Locklear and Enrique Cucalan. Running out your top 30 right there, it's going to be Matt Steiner and Robert Lukens. Looks like that should be it, showing that we have only 30 cars. But at the same time, scoring is showing me that we have 31. Looking to see where a discrepancy may be. Can't quite tell where it is. So, it's 134 laps here tonight at Chicagoland. Clear skies. And of course, the defending race winner both last week and last season at this racetrack belonged to Dylan Parker. Track weather right now, it looks like we have got an 82-degree track temperature. 80 degrees is the ambient air. Well, we're getting ready to go racing it here. Josh, who do you have pegged as your driver to win tonight's race?
Well, I'm not allowed to pick him, so I'm not going to go with him, if that gives you an idea. So I'm going to go with, let's go Dylan Parker. He's really got the momentum on his side right now.
Not a bad pick, but I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go further back in the field. I'm thinking that guy back there, starting in 11th spot tonight, Steven Maggio is going to get it done. I've got a lot of confidence in him getting his second win of the season coming here tonight. Steven Maggio is my pick to win.
I do also want to throw out there Jonathan Parker. He is really good at this this track. Mentioned he's starting a little bit deeper than what we're normally used to seeing, but P14, I still think keep an eye on JP, and he might be kind of a dark horse to watch out for.
Yeah, this race last season qualified 3rd, so a little bit further back in qualifying is a bit different for that number 48 car. So, field following behind the pace car. You got Michael Kruger and Michael Walls side by side. Both drivers looking to get further ahead in points, try and get closer to that championship 4 berth. We'll see if they're able to get it done tonight. Pace car is going to make that hard left turn down pit lane. Michael Kruger, Michael Walls will lead us to the green flag. We're racing at Chicagoland. First lap by, Michael Walls snags the race lead away from Michael Kruger. Ethan Fonseca Moreno jumping up into that 3rd spot there, worked the outside lane and got to 3rd over Donald Stern, who's now got Jonathan Jurgensmeyer to his inside. Jurg goes by on the inside for 4th.
Stern struggling. Stuck on the outside with Jones. Rivers Jones going to get past.
Moreno is blinking like crazy up ahead of these guys battling for 3rd. Back in the back, 3 wide. Is that JP in the middle of 3 wide? 4 wide right now. They are 4 wide down the back. Dane Cruz bails out. JP is going to try to take advantage.
Dane made a smart move there. JP even keyed up and said thank you, and wow, what a nose cut. Edwin Mendez there.
JP trying to cut through this traffic early here while he can. Still uptight battle ahead of him. It's Oscar Enriquez and Brett Bennett up ahead of them, I believe. That is the 88 of Christian Pacheco and the 67 of Bridger Olson that were side by side there. Olson looks like he'll clear. They got Maggio up ahead of him. Just a big wad of cars right now battling for any spot they can take.
Something to keep an eye on up towards the front as Stern is actually underneath Rivers Jones. But Alec Martinez, he started from the pit road. That was actually your discrepancy. He is less than a second ahead of your race leader, Michael Walls.
As you see the field making their way through 1 and 2. There's the 8 of Alec Martinez just up ahead of our race leaders. And important coming into tonight for these drivers, these playoff drivers, to have good runs. Michael Kruger right now is currently 9th in points. He is well ways back. He needs a good points day if he wants to make sure he can go compete for this championship in the championship 4. Right now we're trying to work back to the inside to get to the race lead. He's got the 8 car right ahead of him though. Might hold him up a little bit. It's going to be a battle between these two with this 8 car ahead of him.
Look at the Walls, gets clear. Drops down to the bottom.
Quickly jumping down to the inside lane and clear for the race lead. So Michael Walls takes back the point there. Back in the back, still side by side, Donald Stern and Rivers Jones.
They figure it out, finally. Stern gets ahead of Rivers. Now they both have to get past Alec Martinez.
Looks like they're able to do so.
Kruger once again underneath Walls.
As they go side by side, just about heading back down into turn 1. Kruger still on that inside lane, trying to make it stick. Underneath Michael Walls, can't quite do it. Still staying tough with him, though.
Such a struggle. Kruger almost clear. He will get clear now.
And he'll take over the top spot. Michael Walls thinking about getting to his inside, trying to cross him back over. In the background, Moreno and Juergensmeyer battling for 3rd as well. 2 cases side-by-side racing up front.
Jurg is going to do a slide job.
Moreno back to his inside. Can he get a momentum to clear him in front? Michael Walls clear for the race lead, not yet. Still side-by-side, door-to-door. Still no one able to get an advantage.
I think Kruger's got it now that he's got the momentum off the corner, but Walls comes up for a side draft. They almost made contact. Walls stays side by side, entering 3.
Neither driver giving an inch, giving everything they have to take this race lead. All these laps led are going to matter too at the end of this race. If you can factor in, most laps led for some bonuses, that's a big key that these drivers want, and that's what they keep fighting for. See Juergensmeyer up to 3rd. Kruger and Walls still side by side. Field flies by.
I think Jurgens loves seeing these side-by-side battle ahead of him. It's just going to continue to slow them down and continue to bring him more into the picture, but Kruger gets clear.
But Juergen's right there with him. on board with the 00. Now watching out back of the 41. Micah's an aggressive driver. He is not good at just rolling over and letting things go, but you might have to go ahead and let this 41 go for now, or at the very least, he's going to have to try to do everything he can to get by him and put Jurg on the back bumper of the 41. Diving inside, here comes Michael Walls back for the race lead. And the caution is flying in the background. It looks like it's Ryan Bogey is involved. Jacob Locklear. Blaine Sparling in it. 3 cars around. Caution is out. Heavy damage to the 84. And the 35 is going to tow it to pit lane. Same with the 59. Taking a look at your JCTV replay to show you what happened here on the exit of turn 2. It looks like it starts with Ryan Bogey and Blaine Sparling. Bogey slips up in turn 4, makes contact with Sparling and around the outside wall, and it shoots the 59 right down into Jacob Locklear. He's got no chance of missing that wreck. Just an innocent bystander watching it all play out. We're right on board with Blaine Sparling for this one. Just ping-pongs him right off. Back down the track into unsuspecting Jacob Locklear. We're right on board with him. You hear the engine expire in Ryan Bogey's car. That's likely going to take him out of this race. So, pit stops. Looks like it's a split decision, at least for 4 drivers that elect to stay out. The rest of the field comes down pit lane.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. It was Walls, Enriquez, Jonathan Parker, and Tyler Watermullen that stayed out. Kruger.
So Michael Kruger wins the race off of pit lane. I finally can hear what the hell everybody's been talking about. So Josh, you take over.
All right. So Chris Pacheco, I'm going to guess it was fuel only for him. Only a 6.2 second stop for the driver of the 88. And that got him up to, well, just behind Kruger, as them two had a race off of pit road. Now, again, 4 drivers stayed out, that being Walls, Enriquez, Jonathan Parker, and Tyler Watermullen. So, going to have 4 fresh tires with Kruger, I believe. Yeah, 4 fresh tires on that 41 machine, right behind the top 4 who did not come down pit road. Going to be interesting on this restart, for sure. Christian Pacheco going to be starting in 6th. Once again, fuel only on his machine. Some of these drivers, I think, might be a little nervous once the green flag drops.
check.
Right. All right, the field is back double file. We are getting ready to turn them loose once again. At the line, it'll be 19 laps of 134 complete. Going to be 115 laps to go here from this race. 200 miles course in race number 2 of the Chase playoffs. I don't know what you want to call it. Pace car dives into pit road. Michael Walls. He goes quickly. And we're back under green. They're 3 wide for 4th. Tyler Watermelon up high. Chris Pacheco in the middle and Kruger on the bottom. Kruger gets clear. Remember, he's on 4 fresh tires. Opposed to the 3 ahead of him. Through the field. And Jer goes to the outside of Walls. Moreno to the inside of Walls. And JP. Oh my goodness.
Oh, rookie.
And we are under caution the second time.
JP's in it.
JP, Jamie Wright.
I don't know if you can hear me. We'll look at the JCTV replay and see what happens. This all kind of started with that ping pong effect through 1 and 2. We're going to look back and see what it was. See just right there, the slide by JP. And with that slide, you see them stack up. Pacheco gets the outside wall back in the background. And right here, coming into turn 3, Dane Cruz has nowhere to go as JP slides at the track that little bit. It gives them all nowhere to go. Jamie Wright gets hit by Duncan Fall. He goes for a spin, tags JP as he spins. That's implications for one of our playoff drivers right on board with JP. She just all squirrely sideways and gets tagged right here by Dane Cruz. And just tagged by Jamie Wright. So he'll be on pit road to get damage repaired. Josh, can you hear me?
I can.
Alrighty, I don't know if the broadcast can hear. We'll hope we can hear. We had to pull out the emergency microphone. And see if it works for the rest of the broadcast. If it's working well, great. If it's not, then crap.
Hope everybody's doing great tonight on this lovely Tuesday.
I can't, it's not letting me test this mic to see how it sounds.
I can listen to the broadcast.
Yeah, yeah. Turn on the broadcast and see how we sound. I hope it sounds right. I hope it's fixed. If it is, cool. If it's not, then crap. We're kind of screwed with it. I'm trying to get a threshold set on this to try to get some more audio fixed. So that way you only hear me talking, you don't hear the chair squeaking, because the chair likes to squeak for some reason. You don't hear the mouse wheel scrolling. Something like that is what we're hoping for. I noticed we got a lot of viewers coming back, it sounds like, after we've gotten this fixed, so I don't blame them at all for not wanting to come in after hearing that. I heard it. Once I caught ear of it, yeah, I can see why people were complaining about it.
Well, I turned on the broadcast. Everything sounds good, so I think we're good to go. Yep.
So the pace car leading the field back around the track, getting to the start-finish line. We're going 1 to green this time, so we'll reset the field and get everything kind of sorted out after all the calamity here that we've had, both broadcast-wise and racecraft-wise. Michael Kruger is your race leader. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is currently second. Rivers Jones in fourth position, actually, as it's going to be Ethan Fonseca Moreno lining up third. Then it's Gabe Cazzola back there in fifth. The drivers that did not pit under the most recent caution came down this time by, like Michael Walls. He pit this time as well as Tyler Watermole, they came down and pit after staying out the last time. Jonathan Parker obviously had damage to repair, so he came down pit road. Among others that came down as well a second time onto pit lane. As it stands right now, Alec Martinez is back on the lead lap. The only car 1 lap down is Jamie Wright right now. Jacob Locklear 7 laps down, Ryan Bogey down 12, and Blaine Sparling is unofficially out of this race at minus 12 laps in 31st, likely going to be out of it entirely, which will give us the first DNF of the night. So we'll hit start finish line this time on lap number 27. Pace car will dive off. Michael Kruger will lead the field in the Geico restart zone, and back to the green flag. Kruger jumps out ahead. Moreno jumps up to second behind him. Sideways, almost there in the background, like Edwin Mendez struggling in the middle of a 3-wide situation with Justin Rott and Steve Maggio. Oh,
There's
contact!
Contact going on. Mendez got into Maggio. Sent Maggio up the racetrack.
Mendez trying to fight back on the inside of Rott. Can't get there. He's got Maggio now coming to his outside with Dylan Parker, Brett Bennett, and Dane Cruz in tow. Up front, the battle for the lead. Ready to heat up. Ethan Fonseca Moreno is trying to chase down Michael Kruger. Moreno has been one of the most dominant cars of the season. It's been ridiculous, his production he's had so far. He is looking to keep it up and keep it rolling. 4 wins in 10 starts for this 57 team. Only other driver to get multiple wins is Francisco Bacayo. He's looking to add on to another win and keep the ball rolling and keep him as a favorite for this championship. Meanwhile, side by side again, it's Rivers Jones and Donald Stern for fourth.
I feel like these two are going to be side by side all night. Rivers on the high side here. Jones going to get clear. Abe actually going to go to the outside of Stern.
Stern trying to hang on for 5th place. Abe Gazzola, one of our championship contenders. In the background here. Not much further back, there you see Dylan Parker charging it hard there in the corner. He's trying to get up there and get by Bridger Olson. Typical of Dylan Parker, ripping that top side, going all the way up to the outside wall, trying to get momentum and trying to make the speed work.
He is one of the most impressive at doing it on the sim, for sure. And staying on the bottom through 3 and 4.
Front. Still Michael Kruger holding court as the race leader. Moreno blinking in and out yet again. Jurgensmeyer in 3rd, still right there with him.
Brett Bennett going to the outside. He's going to get around Justin Rott. Bennett seeing Dylan Parker up there. He wants to try the outside. Jones and Stern side by side.
Yeah, side by side once again. This ongoing battle, it'll never end between these two.
Stern gets clear.
What's there to say about Brett Bennett? He's wanting to keep riding the momentum he's got because while he's not a championship contending driver, he is in the dash for cash once more. He won last week at Darlington. Looking to continue that trend again this week. Currently leading those 4 drivers. It's him, Edwin Mendez, Christian Pacheco, and Jeffrey Armistead. As it stands right now, Brett Bennett in 9th. Mendez is in 12th. You gotta go way back to 21st for Christian Pacheco and 23rd for Jeffrey Armistead. Those other 3 contenders in the mix. Pacheco trying to make a move on Owen Chabinski up ahead of him. Just behind him has got Tyler Watermolen. Hometown trace for the 68 car. Gonna have a good run tonight. Ooh. Chabinski knocks the wall down ahead of Watermolen. He's going to get down to the bottom lane and try to get around at 42 as quick as possible. Try to dispatch of him there. Up here, moving through the field, bit by bit, piece by piece, Oscar Enriquez is moving forward in a march to the front of the field. Slightly newer tires him and Michael Wallace have in the rest of the field, and they're putting them to work. Micah is up to 11th. Oscar right there with him, not too far back in 13th.
And they both have been quick. They both were already up front, but because of the way the cautions have fallen, put them in a position that they're in. Wallace and Enriquez, that is. I've been watching them, keeping an eye on what they can do, and yeah, you mentioned it, putting the tires to work. Wallace, we know he's fast. Same with Enriquez. I'm very curious if this run goes green, if it's really going to hurt them on the other end of the run.
And what's wild to see that too is just the fact that they took those tires only 7 laps later. With that includes caution laps.
Yeah.
But they're able to dice in the field the way they are. That's just impressive to me. Talking about this, Michael Wallace did not make the playoffs this season. Oscar Enriquez came into the playoffs as the 2 seed, if I'm not mistaken, or the 3 seed coming into the playoffs. Right now, he sits 5th in points. He's 54 points back of the points lead. He's only 2 points back to the cut line. So that's where Oscar Enriquez rides. If there is a cut line. I've been talking this whole time about this whole cutoff thing, and I'm starting to realize that I've not seen anybody talk about a cutoff. So I'm wondering if we just have a straight 5-race chase, and that's it here. If so, oops. Up front, Michael Kruger is leading the way. Ethan Moreno is in second. Donald Stern in third. All right here, nose to tail. A little bit further back to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in fourth.
Stern was 0.2 quicker than Kruger that last time by. I think we're going to see a change for the lead, but with Moreno in second, I don't think it's going to be him getting the lead.
You say that. Here comes Moreno to the outside of Michael Kruger. Trying to go to the point here in Chicagoland.
I don't think it's going to be Moreno getting the lead and holding it for long.
See what he can do. In the background, battle is on for fourth. Jurgensmeyer trying to hold court over literally about the rest of the top 10, it seems like, right here on his back bumper.
Just the entire cavalry. Stern works on the outside of Kruger. He is now clear, so Stern has his sights set on Moreno.
Meanwhile, we watch back from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's rear bumper. At Gabe Cazzola, Bridger Olsen trying to make moves through the field here. Rivers Jones. All trying to get up there and get by this double zero car of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer.
Look at Kruger going back, fighting back on the outside with Stern. So much going on.
And that battling is allowing Ethan to pull away and allowing Jurgen Company to catch up and reel them in. It's about to be a massive battle for second on back as Moreno tries to check out.
Now clear. Crazy seeing all the different lines everybody is taking. Kruger slow. He makes contact with Stern. Stern trying to save his car. He does. A lot of time lost and a lot of positions lost.
Stern gets an anchor dropped on him there by Michael Kruger. He's able to continue in third, but Donald Stern bears the brunt of that incident. Looks like Mikey just gets tight on corner exit right here. Actually, a little bobble there that sends him up the track into Donald Stern. Great evasion by the rest of the field to not hit this 7 car. But he's dropped all the way back to 15th now for the 7 who's having such a good run to start the night.
I think his car is hurt. He continues to just drop, and he is really slow right now. He might have a steering issue or something. Now look, Christian Pacheco is about to be hounding him.
Yes, he's trying to fend that off. Gabe Cazzola trying to fend off 2 drivers at once. Dylan Parker and Michael Walls are all over the back of this 18 car. Dylan trying to make the middle lane work as Micah goes to the outside of the 18. Stephen Maggio there on the outside of Dylan Parker. And they're all chasing Rivers Jones, who is currently our 4th place car. Oh, Cazzola slides up a little bit. Maggio to the outside. Dylan to the inside. I thought about it, couldn't make it work. You see Enrique is back there in 10th place, losing a little bit of time with this group, with Brett Bennett in 11th catching up as well. Jones now becomes 3rd place, the outside of Michael Kruger. They go side by side entering turn 3. Down to the inside of Michael Kruger. Or 4th as Kruger starts to backslide a little bit.
So, Donald Stern more. Oh, wait a minute. We might have caution. Stern was in the wall. Got into Tyler Watermullen. They all go straight, but anyway, Stern, he has a meatball. And that is a result of the wall contact after a battle with Kruger. So Stern coming down pit road right now.
Unfortunate end, essentially, to his night tonight.
Gonna have to serve that service. He needs to get that service done to get back out on the racetrack, which is going to ultimately put him out of contention tonight. Back in the background here, Oscar Enriquez dropping back down to 12th place. Might have burned his stuff up when he was coming up to the field with Michael Walls. He's now dropped back to 12th place. Got 13th place Jonathan Parker looking on in the background. Make their way into 1 and 2. Guys trying to be defensive of this position for now and hold strong until they'll have to pit again, whenever that may be. Up front, Moreno has not been able to run away with his race lead. He has been fast, but not fast enough to pull away. He has got Jonathan Jurgensmeyer coming up hot on his trails.
Yeah, the one thing I've been noticing is that he doesn't look as comfortable as we normally see him. Could play a factor later on into this race. Now 3 wide.
Yeah, Michael Kruger, Dylan Parker, and Stephen Maggio were 3 wide. Kruger and Maggio were making contact there. They're almost 3 wide again. Still side by side, the 41 and 51.
Battle for second. Jones underneath Jurg. Almost clear.
Jurg's lost a little time that last time by. It's allowed Rivers Jones to catch up and make a battle happen. Look who's creeping up towards that outside lane, way up against the wall there in the background. It's the 3 of Dylan Parker, who's trying to make it work. As a freight train, Rivers Jones, he was second, now back to 5th in the matter of 1 straightaway. Dylan Parker sending it to the inside of Michael Walls in a battle for 3rd.
One thing I saw was Jones was about 45 degrees to the left, was able to save it, and that's why he lost some positions. Parker, he knows he's right there and hungry for more positions.
He's got the speed. The second fastest car on track that time by. Only slower than it looks like the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. 4/10 back a race leader Ethan Fonseca Moreno as they make their way out of 3 and 4. It's Moreno in control. Jurg, Walls, Parker, and Rivers Jones.
Parker really slow there off of 4. He's going to get challenged. Oh, he's going to get in the wall! Dylan Parker now losing a ton of positions. I also noticed Michael Walls in the wall, but not like Dylan Parker was.
Back on the JCTV replay quickly to show you what happened here. Entering the corner, Jones trying to get to the outside. Dylan trying to block. Eventually ran out of real estate between the two. Dylan gets the wall, knocks it down pretty decent. He's back to 8th, and he is losing time still.
Right front hit pretty hard there for Dylan Parker that I imagine he might have some steering damage.
I don't know if it's steering damage more than it is, could just be aero damage between these cars. If you get the wall enough, it can cause some damage to where it makes the car handle worse in clean air or dirty air, and that could be a factor. But, you know, also, too, with a hit to the right front, it could knock the steering out of line, but I don't know. We'll see as the race goes on, but Dylan obviously is not comfortable enough to move to that top lane right now. Staying put down to the bottom right now, that 3 car still looks like a handful.
able to hold off Dane Cruz. I don't think the damage is like what we saw with Donald Stern, but there's obviously some damage to that 3 machine. As now he does lose the position to Dane Cruz.
More spots behind him there. Brett Bennett, Jonathan Parker, Oscar Enriquez, 10th, 11th, and 12th, catching up the back over the 3. Side-by-side battle for 10th place between the 47 and 48. Brett's just trying to put together a good last stretch of races. He's at the point now he's going to have to worry just on the team championship. His teams are Conference Ultimate Motorsports, currently leading the team championship by just 41 points over Victory Media Racing. So, tight battle for the team championship. Looks like Brett Bennett actually is going to be pitting this time. Going to start the pit cycles with the 47. Brett was all by his lonesome coming to pit road. Up ahead, battle for 3rd happening. Michael Walls has got the position. Steven Maggio would like to challenge for it and try to take it away.
Maggio's been hanging out with Walls. Not really losing any time, not really gaining much time either.
He's fought back up to 3rd after having to make that pit stop. Where he finds himself right now chasing Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. It's slightly faster than the 00, not faster than the 57 though. Just trying to keep pushing forward. And here's a sneak for you. How about Bridger Olson? Climbing his way through the field, now up in this top 5.
Yeah, he's looking really good, Dawson. We actually have a couple drivers pitting this time by. It's going to be Rivers Jones.
Jones might have sped on a pit lane there.
Oh, he is sideways! He saves it, but contact with Maggio.
He cut out there. I saw the Trybinski spun on a pit lane. I'm not sure who got into Maggio, though. Who got into Maggio?
Maggio got into Walls.
We'll jump back quickly to see what happened. You cut out right as it said Walls' name there. There's the contact. Same we saw between Dylan Parker and Rivers Jones not too long ago. Walls is regrouped, still in 5th place. Everybody's still chasing Moreno. Side by side, actually now pitting his 2nd place. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer got to get it woed down to pit lane speed. If he did, he's down and good. Duncan Falk coming to pit lane, as is Edwin Mendez. Falk trying to slow it up, one of our playoff drivers. Get it woed down to come to pit lane and get service. Everybody's still chasing this 57 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. It to come down pit lane to make his first green flag stop of the night.
Drivers pitting there. So far, no movement from the front. It's like Gabe Cazzola could be the only driver pit this time around.
He comes down pit lane. It's maybe 16 drivers that have yet to pit under this green flag cycle.
I believe race leader Ethan Fonseca Moreno going to come down this time by.
Slowing down, getting on the apron. They'll be coming to pit lane. Here comes Moreno with Maggio and Bridger Olson in tow, as well as Michael Kruger. and Dylan Parker. Five big name drivers coming out pit lane this time by. Michael Walls electing to stay out and go another lap. So the 9 car leads once more under cycle here at Chicagoland. Justin Rott pitting from 3rd place. Behind the leaders, you see a side-by-side battle between, looks like the 47 of Brett Bennett and the 91 of Rivers Jones. Bennett going to shoot by on the outside. Jones gets blocked in. This is a battle for position between the two. They're on the freshest tires in the field so far. Bennett currently scored as what would be the race leader after the cycle. Rott and Enriquez have pit. Dane Cruz looks to be coming to pit lane this time now, too.
That was crazy.
Brett used the slower traffic perfectly to hold up Rivers Jones. Jurg and now Moreno will go by. The 9 of Michael Walls, who is yet to pit. Now Michael Walls will come down pit lane. He'll get his service done. Leaves Jonathan Parker out on the racetrack.
One thing I want to point out is the undercut that Jonathan Jurgensmeyer was able to do. He is just ahead of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Keep in mind, it is 2 laps. 2 laps the difference for Jurg and Moreno.
Ooh, Moreno hit the bottom of there in 4. Almost lost it up the track. He was able to gather it up and keep it straight. Losing a little bit of time there to the 0-0. The way they cycle around right now, Alec Martinez and Jeffrey Armistead are the top 2. They have not pit yet. Brett Bennett leads the field of those that have come down pit lane. He's got Rivers Jones close behind, but Bennett currently leading those that have already pit. Martinez slow on the track compared to the rest of the field. Same with Armistead. You see Duncan Fall leading a swarm of cars trying to get by these 2 slower cars. As they bop down to the bottom lane, Armistead coming to pit lane. Martinez stays out another lap. As Armistead comes in. Martinez stays out. Rivers Jones catching Brett Bennett trying to pass the 47. This is what would be a battle for the race lead for now until the field cycles out. It's currently a battle for 3rd. Make it 2nd here. As here comes Rivers Jones to the inside of the 47, trying to go to the top spot once they cycle out.
And Martinez is pitting.
So that will hand the lead to Rivers Jones, who's got company quick because Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is right here, as is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Jurg clears Bennett for 2nd. Going to try to cross him over if he can, but Bennett does not have the tires to do so. A lot older tires for the 47 comparative to the rest of these guys up here. 13 laps since he came down pit lane. Comparative to 10 for Rivers Jones, 8 for Jurg, and 6 for Moreno.
Moreno now looking to the inside of Brett Bennett.
For Brett, this strategy is what's going to be, you know, the attempt to make it to the end of this race and get yourself a good finish. And that's all he really needs in the dash for cash. The battle is ongoing for the race lead. Jurgensmeyer to the inside of Rivers Jones, trying to get to the top spot.
This one should be a little bit tougher because it is 2 laps of a difference between Jurg and Jones. Jurg trying. Still not clear. And he does get clear right off of 4.
Jurg leads. Jones in 2nd. He's got Moreno. Right 2's inside. How much of a fight does the 91 put up?
I don't think he was able to hold the bottom there in 1 and 2, and that just allowed Moreno to get there and make the pass.
Moreno to second. Now chasing down Jonathan Juergensmeyer for the race lead. Got some lap traffic up ahead.
Lap traffic's going to be the first one they're going to get to is Steiner and Thacker and Jamie Wright.
Bennett just getting passed by Bridger Olson now for 4th place. He's got Stevie Maggio not far behind as well to capitalize to get to 5th. So far so good for Brett Bennett's strategy to get up and move up spots. He is up 5 technically since the pit cycle has completed. He started off pitting from 10th place. He is now up to 5th, make it 6th. Right now net positive still for this 47 cam. A battle for the lead. Side by side. Moreno on the inside, Juerg on the outside. Juerg is not going to have a chance to fend him off. Moreno quickly takes back the race lead.
Pulling away.
So Moreno got the lead. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm just going to say Moreno was 4/10 of a second faster than Juerg that last time by.
That's something he's so good at. He is so good at managing tires and making them last. It's his biggest advantage he has, I think, on the rest of the field.
I agree. With over on the BSR trucks, him being my teammate for a couple seasons, and the champion, you know, working with him when he was part of my team, getting to listen to him in racing, he knows he is one of the best at saving tires, and he is going to continue to save and use that against you all day long.
Yeah, and he's trying to do so right now to work through the field. Bridger Olson has gotten by Rivers Jones for 3rd. Brett Bennett has fallen back to 7th since this cycle has concluded. He hit lap 83 this time by. Gives us about maybe, let's say 72 laps to go.
52.
Or 52. That's a big number. That's big numbers are hard when I'm not really all there. I'm kind of tired today. Yeah. 52 laps to go. One more stop to be had in this race to get to the end of it. It's just a matter of when they make it. I expect to see some guys coming maybe about lap 105, 106-ish to get to the end of this race. Maybe pitting near the end of the window rather than the opening of the window. Somebody's definitely going to try for it. I think as early as you can go, as far as, you know, the later end of the window, it just depends on where you are on track for how long you really can stay out. If you're somebody like Moreno, you can maybe stay out as long as you want without any worry. You know, for the most part, I'd say maybe Moreno's ideal pit situation is pitting with about 32 laps to go and trying to maybe split it in half as best as he can. Meanwhile, somebody like Brett Bennett, you know, pit at the opening of the window. So that way you can take those fresh tires, take advantage of it, and try to see if you can get the advantage like you've had this time. You're in 7th place right now. You picked up a couple spots. Try to pick up some more spots through it and see what you can do by pitting at the opening of the window rather than waiting to the end of it. got trouble coming in his rearview mirror by the name of Dane Cruz. One car going to challenge Brett Bennett for the 7th place spot.
Searching around, looking for anything right now, and Micah Walls, he just extremely slow there on back straightaway, losing a ton of positions. Micah coming down pit road, yeah.
So yeah, early night exit for Michael Walls. Going to end his night, a prominent night, until the contact there with Michael Kruger essentially took him out of this one. Brett Bennett concedes 7th place to Dayton Cruz now. He's got Justin Rott, Gabe Pizzola, and Oscar Enriquez not too much further behind him. Stands right now, we've got 26 cars technically are still here. Of course, Michael Walls on pit lane right now, likely done for the night. Jamie Wright is now pulling down pit lane as well. Jacob Locklear currently 7 laps down in 27th place. He has a spot to take from Robert Lukens, who has exited the race 5 laps prior to this. And if he can also get to Michael Walls, that could be 2 spots for the 84. Up front, it's all Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Out by almost a second over Jonathan Juergensmeyer, who's got about a 7/10 of a second gap to Bridger Olson, who's got himself another second gap to Stephen Maggio, who's got about a 2-second gap to Rivers Jones, who sits in 5th.
And there are 2 lap cars between Moreno and Juergensmeyer as well. Matt Steiner and Nayla Thacker. Jerg actually has been running quicker lap times than Moreno, though. Not by much, but quicker.
And you definitely want those quicker lap times, you know, bit by bit, piece by piece, for somebody like Jerg right now, just to maintain this gap for the race lead. Coming up to the final pit stops, you don't want to be too far back to where you can't take advantage of maybe undercutting by a lap or two to try to hold on to the race lead. Parker's Dylan and Jonathan. Jonathan just got by Dylan for 12th place as they continue to battle. Oh, Dylan in the back bumper of Jonathan Parker there, down the back straightaway. Well, Brett Bennett got passed by Justin Rott, so now got Gabe Pizzola and Oscar Enriquez behind him. Enriquez to the inside of Pizzola trying to go for 10th place.
Juergensmeyer has finally made a move to try to get past these lap cars, and he was stuck underneath Thacker. Now clear. Now it's Olsen that is struggling side by side with Steiner.
Just trying to pick him apart quickly to get to 2nd place. I feel like it's been a topic point that we keep talking about, this winless streak that this 67 car has been on. He's in contention for a win tonight still. 3rd place running right now near the end of this one. He's got Juergensmeyer up ahead of him. 57 once again blinking out this time by. But, you know, Juergen, Olsen close together. And it can come down to it just being a case of when the pit stops are made and what benefit you can get in the end of this race. We've got 40 laps to go this time by. That pit window is about to open.
Very quickly, yeah, I agree. I think nobody's going to pit when it opens just because of the way that the run is going. But it definitely won't be long.
You say there won't be anybody that pits. There's one guy I'm looking at right now I think that might be crazy enough to go for it. And that is the driver of the 47, Brett Bennett. Technically a net gain of 1 spot. He's got Enriquez and Cazzola behind him, 11th and 10th respectively. Making moves, getting ready to catch him. Cazzola in 10th right now, closing up on the back bumper of the 47. Of course, would be for 10th place. Zola tries to track down Brett Bennett. They hit a point though too.
Well,
I mean,
someone just keyed up on the radio and said pitting in. Want to guess who?
I'm gonna say the 47 of Brett Bennett might be getting ready to pit here.
You would be correct. This is actually gonna be halfway in this cycle for him.
If for him it's a halfway split. For other drivers, it's not yet a halfway split. A couple laps later, but the start of the pit cycle, it started with Brett last time. It's going to start with him again. He's sideways entering pit lane. Did he get down to pit lane speed? We'll see if he has to serve a penalty. That could quickly throw away the race like that.
Rivers Jones going to come down pit road.
Pit maybe 2 laps after Brett Bennett did last time by. Brett Bennett did not speed on entry, so he is rolling away from his pit stall now. Pull up the stints yet again so you can see as they scroll through. Some of these guys, of course, are going to last a little bit longer than the others out on track. You'll see here, Moreno, 31 laps since he last came down pit road. Jurg has been 33 laps. Jurg is about halfway right here, so this would be the split half for the 00 at this very time. This is him splitting it in half if he pits here.
I think he goes a little bit further. He knows Moreno is faster than him. On the other end, Jurg might stay out a little bit longer.
And not going to try to undercut just yet. I try to wait till Moreno pits and then pit after him. We might pit with him. We'll see what the field decides to do. Nobody else is coming down pit lane yet. Moreno leads the field, coming across the stripe this time. 33 laps remain here at Chicagoland. We got a pitter for the top 5. It's Stephen Maggio coming into pit lane. As well as Justin Rott in the 76. He'll slow it down and get down to the pit lane to make his final green flag stop of the night. And now it just becomes a guessing game between this top 3. When do they pit? When does one pit over the other? If I know Ethan, I know Ethan's not going to want to call it out for sure. He's going to want to make sure he's doing it as quietly, as hush-hush as possible to not tip off these guys to pit with him.
Well, okay. I think Ethan is either going to run it dry or wait till Jurg pits.
I think his goal is going to be letting Jurg be the one to lead them down pit road. Jurg's been out there 37 laps. He has to pit soon. Never mind. No! Moreno pits first. Moreno gives him the race lead. Olsen's going to pit right with him. Jurg stays out an extra lap here. We'll see how this shakes out. I mean, Moreno pit after Jurg the last cycle. This time around, Jurg will pit after Moreno. He comes down this time. It'll be with 30 laps to go in this race. He's slowing down. Jurgensmeyer coming to pit lane this time by. That leaves Dane Cruz behind him, who looks like he will stay out on the track for an extra lap. Michael Kruger spinning! Kruger slides! Gets it down on the apron into the grass, but he is sideways the wrong way. That might trigger a caution when he gets back on track. No! Kruger gets back rolling, but that car is all out of sorts right now. Not sure if he was trying to come to pit lane or if he was trying to just make the corner and lost it. But quickly go back and see what happened. Dane Cruz is coming to pit lane this time by. Kruger, oh yeah, Kruger was trying to pit. Got tagged by Rivers Jones. And it sent him around. So Kruger was trying to pit instead. He has to go an extra lap. Dylan Parker, Jeffrey Armistead are the leaders right now, as is Alec Martinez in third. Armistead, the race leader. Parker in second. You see Gabe Cazole in the background making headway on the slower cars that get to pit. Enrique Cucalon and Edwin Mendez. Dylan Parker back to the inside, trying to get by Jeffrey Armistead for the top spot. Armistead going to cross him over. Oh, Dylan Parker knocks the wall down. And allows Armistead and Martinez to get by. Martinez with a run down the front straightaway, trying to get to the outside of Armistead. And he'll clear for now and take back the top spot. Top 7 have yet to pit in this race for their final green flag stop.
So much chaos going on.
And right there, Dane Cruz coming off the pit lane, trying to get by these 3 cars that have stayed out. At this point for these guys, the strategy call is simple. Pray for a yellow. See Gabe Cazzola catching up to Dane Cruz. That is a battle for a position on the track. It looks like when they cycle out, be for 8th place when they cycle. The current race leader with the cycle is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Side-by-side battle between Bridger Olson and Steven Maggio. We got pit stops coming. Jeffrey Armistead, Enrique Cucalon are coming to pit lane now. This is Jacob Blockler a couple laps down in 24th right now for the 84 car. Olson and Maggio still side-by-side battling for what will cycle out to be second. Jurgensmeyer well back. He is back in what would be about 6th place when they all come through.
Pit cycles was not nice to Jurg. Battle between Bridger and Maggio, though, finally going to come to an end.
And despite that battling, Olson was faster than Moreno last time by. We'll see what they're at the stripe this time. Moreno a 31.354. Olson was a 31.163. 2/10 faster last time by for Olson than Moreno. They pit on the same lap too, which is even crazier to think. Tyler Watermelon pulling out of the way. He has yet to pit. Edwin Mendez coming to pit lane this time by as well. Alec Martinez, Dylan Parker still out on the racetrack. Moreno is up by only 0.3 of a second. Yet again, another good lap by Olson is catching the back of this 57. Bridger Olson hungry for a win.
He is so close. He wants it so bad.
Giving chase to the best driver this season, the best driver in recent memory here on JCTV, Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Has just been undeniable in everything he steps into. And he is trying to fend off a very hungry Bridger Olson, looking for his first win since way back in Season 9, 2022, the last time we saw Bridger Olson in victory lane. Can you believe that? 2022 was the last time Bridger Olson found victory lane in a points-paying race.
I can't. I mean, that was the first season that we took over as broadcasters for Slide Job, was Season 9. And right away, the person that was in the booth with me told me, take note of Bridger Olson because he is an incredible racer, and he's going to win a lot of races.
5 seasons here on JCTV with the Slide Job Racing League. And Bridger Olson, it's been 5 seasons just about since he's won, all the way back at Season 9. He is looking for his first win since then. It's 21 laps to go here at Chicagoland. The gap is 0.3 of a second between Olson and Moreno, what will cycle through to be the race lead once the top 3 pit. Moreno blinked out back in. Looks like Dylan Parker finally elected to come to pit lane. Alec Martinez, Christian Pacheco have stayed out. Gotta wonder if you're Bridger Olson, are you maybe hoping that 57 finally just drops out completely and loses connection?
I think there's a lot of drivers in the field that would be okay with that, Dawson. But I don't know. I think Bridger, if he's to win a race, I think he wants to win it the right way. You'll take them any way they come for sure. I think Bridger would rather go head-to-head here.
He's doing everything he can. Try and get to that 57 car. There's Christian Pacheco! Almost got the wall! That would have been the end of the race there for Bridger Olson.
One thing I am noticing over and over and over again is that Bridger Olson, he looks so much better, so much smoother through the corners than Ethan Fonseca Moreno does. He's able to hold the bottom, just get down there, stay down there for a lot longer of a period of time than what Moreno is doing.
He's going to have to make some more swings, though. He has dropped back to almost 0.5 of a second after that incident with Christian Pacheco kind of checked him up and cost him some time on corner exit. He's back 0.4 of a second, trying to close back in, reel back in this 57, but I think we're hitting a point where things are going to start equalizing a little bit, and we're not going to have a chance at, getting a benefit without an issue from the driver of the 57.
Maybe a little bit of a struggle there for Ethan as he's trying to get past that 3 of Dylan Parker. Unable to get beside him.
The thing about Dylan, Dylan's best interest right now is for Bridger Olson to win. His best interest is that number 67 behind these two to win this race, because that puts Ethan back a spot, which can help when it comes to the points. Ethan is the points leader right now. Dylan is currently 3rd. If you can cost Ethan 1 spot here, that helps tremendously for the 3, because it's just extra points that he loses out on getting, and it lets a non-playoff driver win this race and take those bonus points for the win.
And let me remind you guys watching, this is not the same points format we're used to in NASCAR in today's time. This is the points format that NASCAR used to use a long time ago. It's not a point or a position of point.
And this is yay old Latford point system, the one that everybody loves to shout out. The 180 points for the win, 175 for second place. So it's a 5-point swing for this position here. And you see Moreno trying to get to the outside of Dylan Parker, who's trying to fend this 57 off. And that's helping Bridger Olson close back in bit by bit. Alec Martinez finally coming to pit lane. That means that Moreno will cycle through as your race leader. 0.4 of a second is the gap for the race lead between Moreno and Olson. Coming to the stripe, 14 laps to go. Does Olson have enough left to get to this 57 car?
I don't know. He was faster by 4/1000ths of a second. That's it. That last time by.
And this time by, it's not going to be an improvement. It's going to be worse. Over a 10th off of the 57 was Bridger Olsen. Losing time, and now Moreno to the inside, trying to get by Dylan Parker once more. Can't quite do it. 0.5 of a second is the gap now, and still growing. Moreno starting to check out on this 67 car.
I think Olsen has used up the tires.
See the gap. Olsen's got to do everything in his power to cut in to this race lead. Swing that time. A little swing. Not enough, though, to warrant any change. 11 laps to go here at Chicagoland, and the battle for the lead is still ongoing. 0.5 of a second. Moreno trying to get by the 3 of Dylan Parker to lap this 3 car who's being a thorn in his side, slowing him up. As Moreno goes into 3 on the inside lane, Dylan Parker runs the middle line, not going to allow him a good exit. It's slowing up this 57 car. Bridger's back in it now. Almost a 10th that time he gains.
Time to go.
10 laps to go. 0.3 is the gap. And still gaining. Moreno being side by side with Parker has allowed the 67 to close in. Wise of Moreno to let the 3 go, not try to focus on getting by him, and just focus on managing this lead he has over Bridger Olsen. But now he goes back to the inside. Bridger reeling him back in more. Giving everything he's got to catch this 57 to score his first win since November 8th of 2022. Ethan back to the inside of the 3.
This is crazy.
Lap traffic playing the factor to a finish of a Chicagoland race. I think I've seen that a time or two, and it's playing out here tonight in the Slide Job Racing League. Again, Moreno can't get up to the wall on exit. It's going to cost him a little bit more time to Olsen. Does Olsen have enough to close the gap and get to the lead?
Just don't know. I mean, Dylan holding strong, but Ethan's still doing an incredible job keeping pace.
Ethan wasn't able to clear the 3. Another run coming for Bridger Olsen. Big swing that time. Olsen, huge run off of 4. He's right there. Here comes the 67. It's one thing to catch him. Now he's got to pass him. Moreno looking for his 5th win this season alone. Bridger Olsen looking to snap this dry spell. 5 laps to go here at Chicagoland. And if something happens between these two, lurking in the background is Jonathan Juergensmeyer in 3rd. Moreno was faster last time by, still building a little bit of a gap over himself in the 67 as they head into turn 3.
I honestly think Moreno is going to be fine if he does not battle That 3 machine.
Oh, but he's catching that 3 car. 4 laps to go. He'll have a shot to the inside again at Dylan Parker. Not able to get a run off of turn 2. What does he do into 3? He'll once again go to the bottom. So will Bridger Olsen. Side by side with a lap car is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. It's back within 0.2 of a second. 3 laps to go. Bridger Olsen can taste victory here, but he's still got to get by the best of the best. Moreno leads, still side by side with Dylan Parker.
Dylan got really high, somehow still to the right rear of Moreno.
Moreno can't clear, but Olsen didn't get enough of a run. But Olsen losing hope here because the 3 car may not be able to hold strong on the outside of the 57 for longer. Finally, Moreno gets by Dylan Parker. 2 laps to go. Bridger's right here in the lurking in the background. Losing time, big time! Olsen slipping back 0.3 of a second. Dylan Parker trying to get back by the 57 as they come through 3 and 4. They are going to hit the white flag. 1 more lap to go here at Chicagoland.
Somehow Dylan is back side by side with Moreno.
Dylan side by side with Moreno. Moreno just has to hold on for 1 final set of corners. Olsen, what does he do to try to get to the race lead? He'll send it into 3 and 4. He's got a shot. He's out of time. In the wall hard. Moreno comes off 4. He'll take his 5th win of the season and take the checkered flag here in Chicagoland.
Olsen hard into the wall at the start-finish line.
It is win number 5 of the season for Ethan Fonseca Moreno. And he'll come to the stripe. He'll roll a little further. As he heads to the start-finish line, he is going to burn it down here on the front stretch. So as Moreno celebrates win number 5 on the season here tonight, take a look at your finishing results tonight. It's Moreno winning a nail-biter over a heartbroken Bridger Olsen, who will come home in 2nd place. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer takes home 3rd. Steve Maggio takes it in 4th. And Dane Cruz rounds out your top 5. Rivers Jones comes home 6th, and Justin Rotten 7th. Gabe Cazola finishes tonight's race in 8th. Brett Bennett, our Dash for Cash winner 2 weeks in a row now, will finish 9th place. And Oscar Enriquez rounds out your top 10.
Jonathan Parker finishes in 11th. Alec Martinez 12th. Jeffrey Armstead 13th. Enrique Cucalan 14th. Duncan Paul finishes 15th. Edwin Mendez in 16th. Owen Chabinski in 17th. Dylan Parker 18th, Michael Kruger 19th, and Christian Pacheco 1 lap down finishes 20th.
Finishing 21st is Tyler Watermelon with Matt Steiner 22nd. Nayla Thacker is 23rd. 24th goes to Jacob Locklear. 25th is Jamie Wright, the first car out of the race. Then it was Micah Walls in 26th. Robert Lukens 27th. Donald Stern finishes 28th. Matthew Stotts 29th. Ryan Bogey in 30th. And 31st tonight on the field, Blaine Sparling wrecked out early in this one. Well, we'll see if we can get a hold of our third place finisher tonight, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Hey, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, it's Boys in the Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, it is a third place run for you tonight. It's not a win, but in terms of the points, it's still a pretty good finish. What was that race like for you, the 00 team?
It was a very fun race for me, at least. Just having a lot of pace and being up there with Ethan. I feel like I hit another level at the 1.5 miles today, and just able to not take it to Ethan, but just be close to his level. I felt like if a couple things were different, I could have maybe had a chance at him. But all in all, it was a really fun race. A lot of fun battles and a lot of long runs. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, got a lot of long runs in tonight. Not expecting that next week for sure, but for you, these last 3 races coming up here in the playoffs, how important is that going to be to try to keep this momentum rolling and just keep having these good races to try to get you to a championship?
It's going to be really important. I mean, last season I was nowhere in the playoffs at all. Just wrecked out of the first race and then had to miss another race, and was just nowhere in the playoffs. So to make an actual run in the playoffs, it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be really hard to beat Ethan, obviously, but I feel like a really good points finish is still really in bounds for me, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna be aiming for.
Well, for sure, it's been a good week so far, here on JCTV for you. But third place run to cap it off here tonight on Tuesday night. Teammates, sponsors, shoutouts. What got that 00 on the podium tonight?
The guys in the call, Ethan with the win, and just everyone in there. I say their names every week, but the paint scheme today, it was made by my buddy Nate Polite, and so shout out to him for that. And yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, that is your third place finisher tonight, the future of sim racing, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Congrats on the third place run, Jurg.
Thank you.
I don't know if we'll be able to get a hold of second place. Josh, see if you can finagle your way to getting Bridger maybe.
I see him.
Let's see if he wants to talk to us. It's the big thing. Now, just because he's here doesn't mean he wants to talk to us. We've had a couple drivers, of course, have instances, don't want to talk to us, and never blame them. Fake interview, fake broadcast stuff, so see what he wants.
You mean all this is fake?
Yeah, I know, right?
Here
looks like there we go. So, let's take it, Josh. You're catching up with our second place finisher tonight. That would be Bridger Olson.
Yeah, and hey, Bridger, first of all, phenomenal run for you, finishing second. I know it's still not what you want, but you're on the right track.
Yeah, getting closer for sure. Just a step in the right direction, I guess. Not really. I felt like Ethan was obviously the best, and nobody could really compete with him, so I'm not that upset.
You had a little bit of help, I believe, there with Dylan Parker holding up Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Looked like you were giving it all you could. I mean, what else do you think you had in the bank, if anything?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting Ethan to get held up, so I kind of pushed that whole last run. If I saved a little bit, I maybe could have got to him, but still, I would have had help. It wouldn't have been as satisfying even if I did win. So
still a few races left in the season before it's over. Is there any track that is coming up you really have your eye on that, you really want to break this long drought?
Yeah, Talladega should be pretty fun. That's always a good race in this league. Um, Bristol is gonna be chaos. Not really looking forward to that. Homestead, eh, eh. I don't think I'm very good there, so mainly just Talladega.
All right, well, sponsors, shout outs, who gets it done for you?
Thank you to Dane Cruz. I put him through a lot of hell on the first lap, and I apologize. Cruz Auto Racing, uh, and yeah, Toyota.
All right. Well, congrats on the runner up, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And that was your runner up, Bridger Olson, as we head down to Dawson, who has your race winner, Victory Lane, Ethan Fonseca Moreno.
It should not come as a surprise to anybody to see this man in victory lane once again. 5th time here in season 13. Ethan Fonseca Moreno, a winner here tonight at Chicagoland. First off, Ethan, congrats on the win.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Alrighty, well, you come home victorious tonight. A dominant race from this 57 team. What is it like for you to have this race come together, race 2 of this 5-race chase, and come away with the most points you could score?
This is honestly not what I expected. I didn't, but I think the past previous seasons, I was kind of bad here at this track, or maybe it was just last season. Last season I was pretty bad here, and the season before that, yeah. But anyways, yeah, they came out with this setup changes with this new update, so the setup kind of went in my favor there. Kind of like a little bit of tight setups there in long run. So, um, yeah, everything pretty much went my way. Just stayed up front, stayed out of trouble. Um, and got it interesting there at the end, having Dylan in front of me with Bridger behind me. Saw what was going on, but you know, still able to win that race at least. Um, Definitely helps in the points towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to expand your lead pretty good tonight. After this, you entered tonight with a 28-point lead over Dane Cruz. Your closest competition that finished up there was Juergensmeyer, who was 7th in points entering tonight. And then, you also had, Dane finishing 5th. So what is it like for you now to know that you're going to have that big gap, grow more and more after tonight?
He finished 5th, man. That's not good. I thought he was gonna finish like 10th or something like that. Oh well, good job on him. Uh, yeah, nice to have a good little buffer between myself and the second place. It's definitely important, especially going into like uh, let's say before Talladega. I don't know how Bristol's gonna go. Just gonna try to finish that race, but I know anything could happen at Talladega, so just trying to build as big of a gap
Well,
as I can, just in case there's something were to go wrong in that race.
absolutely. So, you are looking forward to 3 more races here to try to get this championship. So, start about celebrating tonight. Teammates, sponsors, shoutouts. What got this 57 to victory lane tonight?
Big shout out to Austin. I don't know how you say it. Doran, graphics. Um, for making this paint scheme. Paint scheme looks absolutely beautiful. Um, Chipotle is on the car, so big shout out to Chipotle. Probably gonna go there tonight. What else? All the guys in the call tonight. I'm glad nobody. No, I'm glad nobody threw out a caution there. I would have been pissed. Braden Cisco. Yeah. There we go. That's it. Coca-Cola. There you go.
Alrighty, that is your race winner from tonight. 5th win on the season. Looking to close out a championship here tonight this season. These last 2 races. That is Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Congrats on the win again, Ethan.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir. With that, it's still parked there on the start-finish line. Well, Josh, a relatively clean race here tonight, Chicagoland. 2 cautions only tonight. and they all happened in the early stages of the race. After that, we went green to the end. What was that race like for you?
I'll tell you what, I think a lot of drivers were trying to have more cautions come out with some of the racing that we saw, but just calmly chaotic, organized chaos. I mean, I don't know. It was a great race, that's for sure. It proves that you don't need a caution fest to have close racing like this. And I mentioned that I feel like this is going to be the calmest of all the races that are in this format here, the postseason. And so far, I really don't think it's going to be easy to beat this one at all. Great win for Ethan with, I mean, just another fantastic drive. And I really liked what I saw tonight out of a lot of drivers. That I think the rest of this postseason is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and a big shout out too. I think Steven Maggio finishing fourth isn't getting a lot of mentions yet from us here. Coming in tonight, he was sixth in points. A good, solid fourth place run, kind of under the radar, which will be big for him to try to move up in the leaderboards to try and make his way towards the championship. But he's got a long road ahead of him, with Ethan being the top dog yet again here tonight. So we'll see if they're able to overcome it. Well, that'll do it from us here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. It is another race marked down. 3 races to go here in Season 13 of the Slide Job Racing League to determine a champion. It looks like that guy that finished in victory lane tonight is going to be the favorite coming out of tonight. Ethan Fonseca Moreno with another victory tonight. Looking forward to it. Next week is Bristol, Talladega, afterwards Homestead to close it out the next 3 weeks of racing here on Tuesday nights on JCTV. There's also some more racing coming up, of course, Thursday night, the Road and Plates League. I don't know where they race. I don't know what they are, but they've got that coming up this Thursday night here on JCTV, so tune into that one. And then this next Saturday, not this upcoming Saturday, because that is the Bristol night race for the NASCAR Cup Series. The following Saturday, we will kick back up with Charlotte for the AMSOIL Truck Series. As they get ready to roll in for the final race of the mid-season bracket challenge, and also just getting closer and closer. 5 races left in their regular season, so a lot of racing going on. You don't want to miss any of it, because there is so much coming up here that you want to see. I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in. I want to thank the drivers for always putting on a show for us. I want to thank everybody that supports the channel in any way they do. For everybody on JCTV, this is Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long. Have a great rest of your night.